Hello everyone, I am Melody from Bake a Leg and Let's Dig It Homestead, and this is Garden Tour 7 if I'm not mistaken. You're looking at some Genovese basil. I'm going to try to go quickly on this video because it is super hot. We are in another major heat advisory, and I'm actually using my roommate's phone. So Genovese basil, there's the chamomile that I planted from seed that I made over winter. It's still not flowering inside this pot. This is the tiny Tim tomato right there, which I've said this before in a previous video. I'll say this again. This tomato is pretty good, but pick them and eat them right away. When you let them get a little riper, the skins are tough. Here is that plant that I purchased that is a Husky Red, I think it is. Yeah, Husky Cherry Red tomato plant, because oddly enough, I did not plant a cherry tomato. There's the size of it right there, if you can see that. But you see how it's looking here today? It's very limpy because it's a watering issue. And yet we just went down in the history books, 10 inches of rain and that terrible storm that busted my table. So this is up on the patio. This is my little grill basket. It has some chives, oregano, some basil, parsley, rosemary. And then this is new. This is the one that Jay bought me. It's a tea herb basket, which I would have never have thought because it has oregano, lavender, English thyme, and sage. And this is a really good one. It's gorgeous. So yeah, Jay had bought that for me. And that is to make all different types of teas. And in the inside, it gives you all the instructions. Okay, let's keep going. The unknown plant that's going to seed, some thyme, more rosemary. And let's get going on this garden tour. Genovese basil, you may end up seeing my shadow, of course. Early here, but super hot. We're looking at 105 or 6 today. More rosemary. Mint up here for to quick throw into the iced tea. And some zinnias. That is my seed starting for some backup plants that got diseases. And I'm starting my seeds for my fall garden. So let's go. We're straight to the kitchen garden. And we'll start off there. So that big storm that we got that dropped 10 inches of rain in a matter of minutes went down in the history books of over 100 years since any rain has fallen like that. So the impatiens are kind of swallowing up my Mexican tarragon. And if anyone knows, do you harvest the flowers for seeds? Do you pick the leaves to preserve? And this is my St. John's wort. It kind of got swallowed up by the impatiens as well, but very big now. Very big. Let me move that. The thyme, some onions. This is my dill that I am saving for seed. This is my sage. Look at it. It's glorious. It's huge. I'm going to harvest a lot off of that. And then that's Thai basil, which is another one I'm not really familiar with. But I'm going to try it out. I am going to save the seeds and I'm going to harvest the leaves. More rosemary, Genovese basil. No, this one's the mammoth basil. Genovese from Garden State Gardener. I planted some. I did plant some cilantro seeds because the last one bolted. And I planted a curly parsley. That's not looking too good. Chives. It's like a purple dill back there. And some more thyme. This one is the lemon thyme. And the flowers, see the difference in these because of the way the water rushed. This is the side garden. It washed away a lot of the composted dirt, but just a little extra spot. Try to amend the soil. I put some extra tomatoes, extra peppers in here that are, they're doing okay. There's some peppers on there that I could pick. It's like one on that one, two little ones on there. They don't look the greatest, but this was just an extra spot to put things in. The two blueberry bushes, that was a piece of concrete that I literally dug out of there. These raspberry bushes are doing amazing. Absolutely amazing. They're getting big. And I think this whole wall here is going to be raspberry bushes. I'm probably going to come out about 3 inches to the whole wall raspberries. And then the next one down will be all blueberries. 2 apple trees survived the storm. Looking good. They don't have that crazy leaf curl that they had initially. One spot does right here. But as you can see, the new growth on the top, looking pretty good. I'm surprised that these didn't break from the storm. So there's the apple tree. And these are the, I always keep forgetting. These are the Cortland apple trees. So looking good. We're gonna try to move a little bit faster. So that's the kitchen herb garden. Doing amazing. Actually, that is the Genovese basil. I'm sorry. There's my mammoth basil. Yeah, I confused the two. But we're gonna try to keep this moving due to the heat advisory here. So let's start off with the red bucket in the front. It has squash on it. As you can see in there, there's one there. There's one there I had to come out and pick. And I think this is just the summer squash. Lots of flowers going on and a sunflower. This pot needs to be pulled out away because this is the first bed of tomatoes and it's a little back there. There are tomatoes. These are the striped Roma tomatoes all in the front. So you can see the stripes starting to come in. So there are tomatoes through and through. This is the first bed. The coneflower is starting to lose its color. I have to pull the weeds out of there and give that some mulch. Flaxseed, I think it is. Oh, I'm so terrible with flower names. Again, the weeds need to come out. Tick seed, I think this is called. This was looking like it was dying bad without that storm, and it absolutely looks amazing, but you're gonna have to deadhead it. Delilah that came back, that was crisp. More flowers, some Benjamin buttons, a sunflower, and this is nothing but beans right here. This entire thing, Kentucky pole beans, which I have to do a harvest. I will bring you along for that. There is a bean right there. So these are all bush beans, which need to be harvested. That video will be coming up. Here's the other pot that has the summer squash, or it's the crookneck. Not sure, but there's 2 little babies in there. So yeah, Kentucky pole beans, all different sorts of bush beans, rattlesnake pole beans. This is the Chinese red noodle bean. And looky. Look at the size of that bean. So obviously it's green. I did pull one off because I wanted to taste it. That was in like this size form. Yeah, not edible yet. So I don't know. That's just growing like that. I just keep trying to trellis it up. Ooh, a speck of shade. But there is the beautiful flowers. If you've never seen the flowers to the Chinese red noodle bean, there it is. Trellising away. This is my okra, which is, this is comical. Let me show you. So this is my okra on this side, getting pretty big. And there's my okra on that side. That's an itty bitty baby. Don't know why. The Chinese red noodle beans. Might have to help them out. And, oh, that one just broke. But just keep trying to trellis them up. Tomatoes. My head hitting the wind chimes. There's tomatoes there. Which is the bed right next to the beans. And there are decent size tomatoes throughout this bed. This is the front. You know the array because I've already done a video on what tomatoes I have planted. Okay, over here I talked about a while ago I was going to plant some corn on the cob right here until I realized, that's right. I planted some lima beans and I'm seeing that they're starting to trellis. So I just put this little fencing up, but my friend Jay bought me some 4 really cute trellises, so that'll probably get moved. leaves that are yellow. It's just nitrogen. I gave them some coffee grinds yesterday mixed with water, but I usually just come on in and take off the yellow leaves like that and then pick them up later. So the rattlesnake pole beans have a serious grip on here. You can see the flowers. Not seeing anything with them yet. Lima beans, I just realized they need to be trellised, but that's what this whole patch here is. Here is rattlesnake pole bean that I'm just gonna weave on through, I think, if I can find it. Gotta help it out. And these are all the beans that I'm gonna have to do a harvest on before they get too big. And your big ones, save for seeds, my friends. I am all out of the burgundy ones, which are in here, and I am going to be saving a couple of the big ones because this got away from me, obviously. But I'm going to pick all the beans at some point. We're supposed to get a really bad storm. This is Saturday. We're supposed to get a really bad storm about 2 o'clock. So the bees are loving the little flowers. So I did pick a couple of the burgundy. They're pretty big. So I'm going to save them for seed saving. So that's the bean bed. I just gave that coffee grinds yesterday. Flowers still. This is the bed that was pushed all the way this way. I might put a trellis. Here's the 2 extra trellises. Jay bought me 4 of these with the points. I had an idea of putting it in here, maybe in the front, if I can fit it, to stop it from being blown out any further with the next lovely storm. Say lots of prayers because we have another storm coming today at 2 o'clock. I have lots of tomatoes in there. This part of the tomato bed where the tomatoes were out of, there's not really much I can do. Jay and I pulled it the best we can. So it's falling on top of the blue tower that you can see as beans, string beans. They're purple down here. I did pick some of them last week. And then the top is the yellow wax beans, some Benjamin buttons, cantaloupes, a gazillion flowers. I don't see any cantaloupe yet. This is all cantaloupes. This is 3 different types of watermelon, lots of flowers. And let me show you this that I saw. And there is a watermelon. So I might have to dig through. These are those wild flowers I told you about. I'm going to actually show you the box, maybe on another video, of wildflowers, sprinkled them in. And I thought it was junk. They literally work. So that's the wildflowers. Potatoes. Second crop of potatoes. I did this one a little bit different. I hilled it. It's probably going to need some more dirt and a little bit of weeding. But I cannot do that in this heat right now. Beautiful zinnia back here. Amazing sunflowers. Thank you, Indiana Gardener. I thought I was right. These are the Japanese lantern flies, I think they call them. And the only thing it's telling me to do is hot water and Dawn dish soap. I've been doing that. But them staying on the sunflower stems are keeping them out of my eggplants. I just killed a big full-grown one. You know, they'll hop twice and then you gotta kill it. And I just did that a few minutes ago. So potatoes, probably some more dirt. It's another experiment, bigger spot, but kind of held them this time. Strawberries. The zucchini patch looks a little thin. I have a video, I might post it next week, that is on dissecting, because I thought one of my plants had, I mean, some of them look good, and then some of them look a little yellow, but I pulled one out. Heirloom, of course, it was an heirloom. There's a new one that I just put in there, but I pulled it out, swore that it had the squash worn bug in there. No, but stay tuned for that funny video. So as long as these are okay, I'm going to keep them. I did another big harvest to the last one that you just saw, so I'm letting that go. Cucumbers are getting some yellowing going on. Extra cucumber plant that I planted, but it's getting a lot of this. Maybe it's good if I am in the shadow so you can see the coloring. Yeah, and it's trellising all the way up the sunflower, up the fencing. I am trying to keep it down off the fencing. You can see that there's little cucumbers starting. I just need a lot of cucumbers if I want to make pickles. So there are some babies in there, and I just have to figure out what nutrient it's lacking right now, or is this just coming from the stress of the heat. But that is the new heirloom. What kind is it? Let me see. It is the straight neck heirloom squash. So the other one in the front that I showed you in the pots, that is the crook neck. So zucchini patch, doing well. And like I said, another cucumber plant I'm going to plant. All the sunflowers are doing well. Some big ones down here. The bees are loving it. I am loving that one right there. It's gorgeous, and we have a big head, so all the sunflowers are doing well. Got one that's just about ready to open right there. Some more zinnias. This is another sunflower. Thank you, birds. Chamomile, I've been harvesting off of it. 1, 2, 3, this 4, it's not doing anything. But the water that we got, literally, I'm not even exaggerating, came up to here on my sunflower plant. That's how high it was, and the water ran all the way out. Okay, so sunflowers are doing well. That one's getting ready to open. That one's not doing too good. Okay. The Easy Pick Gold Rush, I guess is the name. Might get it right by the time the season's over. Yeah, Easy Pick Gold. I just picked a bunch. 2 were wedged in here. I broke the stems off, so that is going to force me to have to try it and see how it is, but there's more growing in there. And this is, the root is in the bed, but the plant is out of the bed. This is the eggplants. It's the white eggplant right there. It's doing fantastic. Let me go around so I can show you. This is the black cherry tomato. You can see how limpy this is looking, and it was watered last night. This is the sweet potatoes. If anyone knows if I should vine this, please let me know. But this is having some heat trouble right now. This is the Daytally pepper. It's finally just now starting to bud, which is crazy. So is the Tabasco pepper. And this Daytally right here has bigger flowers on it. Half hot bed. It's doing well. Half sweet's doing well. The lemon basil, can we talk? It's doing phenomenal. Plus I've been picking the seeds off the top to save them. But here's a better look at the white eggplant. Let me try to get out of the way so you can see. Doing well. Flowers are huge. The black beauties are all coming in. I just saw one. Rosa Blanca, I absolutely saw a Rosa Blanca. I'm just looking for it. There is Black Beauty coming in. Let me go this way. I think I saw it better. There we go. Sorry guys for the shadow. So this is the Rosa Blanca. I love it. Look at the beautiful color. Gorgeous. So eggplants are doing good. Those Japanese lanterns are staying off of my eggplants. Some bunching onions. I finally have some rainbow carrots that are coming up, which is awesomeness. Crazy. Nasturtium was cut back twice. It is getting a little bit of this on the leaves, so just go around and pick them off. You saw the video of picking peppers. This has some, this is the sweet bed. Has some blossom enrod, which is calcium. Thank you, Indiana Backyard Gardener. I am going to see what goes on with that. It also did say it could be from an extensive amount of water all at once, and I wouldn't be the slightest bit shocked by that. Yesterday I wasn't seeing that many blooms, but there are a few right there. So I'm going to let this just flower up, do its thing, and then we'll get more of a harvest. but it could be lacking some calcium. It could not. It could be very well coming from these god-awful storms that we get here. This humidity's been the worst in record that I ever knew of. The half sweet are on that side. You can see the plant difference. I've said this before. That's because that bed was stunted by the last frost. So half sweet, half hot. They're catching up. I gave that fish emulsion. I stopped giving a lot of nitrogen when they start looking like this. So this is the calcium issue and a watering problem. This is the bed from the storm. We pushed it up the best we could, but we have lots of tomatoes going on. This is the ground cherry tomato that's not looking so good. I don't know what's going on with this. It has some bites. If anybody knows what to do and can help a fellow gardener out, that'd be awesome. This bed here gets the biggest mushrooms. I'm not even kidding. But there are some down ground cherries. My Jarrett, the 23-year-old, didn't like them. Could you imagine? I think it tastes like pineapple. Everybody else says something cherry or grape. So very interesting for a new gardener. That's my first time ever doing that. And I am going to try to save some of the seeds. So this is that tomato bed. We have cluster tomatoes. So say a prayer, because 2 o'clock today on Saturday, between 2 and 3, we were supposed to get another humongous storm. And I don't need another storm. I do have a video out on what I did with the table after that glass busted. Never seen that a day in my life. Lightning had to have struck that. This basil's looking really good. Some of it was brown underneath the bottom, like this yellowish brown. So I've been trying to pick it a little bit more often. This is the other bed with the big tomatoes that literally blew that way. Right there. I'm going to show you. This is the water. So for some reason, the wind is coming in from that direction back there. So it's pushing them all this way. But they actually look like they're standing up a little bit better today. And there are blooms. They're enormous. And no, I'm not going to clip them off. I'm just going to let it, whatever happens, happens. I'm just going to let them keep growing. So clusters of tomatoes. Like I said, lots and lots of prayers needed. Little spider webs that I am going to leave. I just don't want to walk in any, to kill any of the bad bugs. But lots of flowering going on. And there's tomatoes buried in there. If you can see. Pretty nice. That leads us back to the blue tower that I talked about. Like this is a big one. So I may save this one for seeds. Actually, this isn't that big. But if you find a real big one, you could start seed saving. Like I don't have any more of the yellow wax beans. So I might let some get big. And then we made it back to the cantaloupe bed, watermelon bed. So let me backtrack. Beans, lots of bees buzzing around. Both the tomato beds I showed you. Here's my walkway again. When I was trying to get underneath to keep it free and clear. Now there's a spider web on the phone. Keep it free and clear. I laid 2 mats down so I could crawl underneath there and just try to prune. So tomatoes, more peppers, and I just did my haul yesterday. Peppers are on the table. I have lots to do with that, and I still can't find pint-sized jars, but I'm going to look today online. And if you're not seeing bees, but I am seeing bees, you could just come in here and just give it all a good shake, a little vibration, and it will be fine. They will pollinate. Lots of tomatoes going on. This end here, I'm a little disappointed in. I must not have been paying attention. But can you see that? That is, let me grab one or two. This one looks really ripe. This row here is the black cherry tomatoes. I would have never put a whole row of like a black cherry tomato in a bed. So I think it was missing a tag. Let me pick these 3 while I'm out here. Okay. But yep, pepper bed. Tomato bed. And then let's talk about this. This is my first spaghetti squash. There's other multiples going on. This one wasn't pollinated, so I usually just knock it off and the bees will find it. I just keep trellising it up. So the spaghetti squash, let me sit you down 1 second so I can sit this stuff in my can down. This is all the spaghetti squash right here. It's also vining in and out everywhere else. Can we talk about my zinnias? They are just so beautiful. Look at this. Absolutely gorgeous. The colors. These are like the sherbet colors right there. These are cut and grow agains. In case you're new to this channel, I love me some zinnias. When the head looks like that, pick it and you'll have seeds for next year. So anyone that's dead, you just pick the head off and save seeds that way. So the spaghetti squash is looking pretty amazing. The whole plant looks pretty good. Now this, on the other hand, is my butternut squash. Gorgeous flowers. I put another trellis in to try to help it out, but I'm not seeing any actually forming yet, or it could be. I'm not really sure. But this is the butternut squash. That's the spaghetti squash. This is just crazy. This is the lemons cucumber. As you can see, it has the same markings over here that my other one had. But this, I have to fix because this is attaching onto what I think. This one right here is either going to be my sugar pie pumpkins, or that's the sugar pie pumpkin on the end. So we're just going to wrap this bad boy around like so. And hopefully the bees get into the flowers because there's a ton of them. So yeah, I don't see butternut squash yet. Hopefully soon. And like I said, this is either going to be another cucumber, or this is going to be my sugar pie pumpkins, which is what I really think that is. This looks not so good. Lots of flowers in here, but not getting great leaves. It needs something, and if anyone wants to state what that is down below, feel free. Cucumbers are taking forever to grow, and then the leaves look like that. The celery, on the other hand, is nice and green, doing fantastic. This is those basil towers I was telling you. It was like $4 or $5 a piece. And I was like, oh, let me just do it. I think I have a tag to show you. Did I keep one? Here it is. Here's a tag from a box store. It is called the Everland Emerald Tower Basil. It's much bigger from the last garden tour. And then some Genovese basil. Some seeds that I dropped from my new lovely friend, Joe, at Garden State Gardener. Please go over and subscribe. Also subscribe to Indiana Backyard Gardener and Cosmic Cultivators. Huge supporters. So much help they give me along the way. And there is the tragedy right there. What the storm did, for why I said the wind's coming from that direction. Look at how it pushed those tomatoes. The sticks are so just bent. But there's really not much I could do about it anymore. Just roll with it, right? Live and learn. The gardeners learn something new all the time. And it just is what it is. But that's how drastic it's pushed up. Right there. More celery, which is doing fantastic. Loves lots of water. So remember to keep water on your celery. I watered it last night. Soil looks pretty good. Just the overall celery's looking fantastic. So bring it on, Shed Wars. I'm going to get a long stalk, I hope. But I'm not going to water that because the storm's coming. And I'm also not going to water this because the storm's coming. And let's talk about the Snowball of Mint. I am in love with it, my friends. Still in love with it. I've been picking it. I harvested a jar full. It's regrowing back. Looks fantastic. And it's spearmint and sweet mint in there. And I just am in love with it. Cabbages since spring are doing well. I've pruned them. I look them over for cabbage moths. I have a video coming out on that. But these have been in since spring. They're doing well. I have pruned the leaves. This one's starting to interfere with my celery right there. I might have to remove that leaf. And this leaf right there for my other celery. So I have 2 in this bed, and then I have the pot right there. Give you an overall how bad those tomatoes are touching that tower. But what do I always say, my friends? The towers survived those 2 crazy storms. Just unreal. So the purple cabbages. And then over here, I put this really cute trellis that Jay picked me up for my acorn squash that's starting to vine. I'll have to come out and weave it in between. But that bed, pretty much this whole section, is what they call the winter squash. When you see this, it didn't get pollinated, right? So just pull it off right there. Bees didn't get to it. I try to keep it clean. So acorn squash, I'm assuming I have some time on that. And I already showed you the zucchini. There's a brand new zinnia that's opening up. They're just gorgeous. And this is great to have near the cucumbers and the squashes because of the pollination. This is this tower, the beige one. Birds put that there. I might have to transplant that. I have zinnias, different impatiens. I forget the name of these, but I have those in there too. I have kale. Lettuce is doing good. Endive is doing good. And there's some Swiss chard, and it's probably because it's getting shaded out. I did plant cilantro seeds, and that's coming up. The other ones are not. There's more cilantro right there. And then Swiss chard, which 2 of the leaves have holes. I just tried to fill in some cilantro. Cucumber with lots of buds. We'll see what happens. It's trellising up on its own. And my curly kale. Basil with a feather on it. And sage. And some Tokyo bunchen onions right there. So, I think I covered everything except for the tower over there. But the eggplants are doing really well. Peppers, it's blossom end rot, which is a calcium thing or it's too much water. I didn't realize I focused so much of my time and energy on the tomatoes that when I finally did look in, you know, because from the outside they look great, they were pushed almost roots up out of the ground. So it could be another reason why a couple of my peppers look like that. But I have a lot of peppers to cut up and take care of. But look. Stop and just look at the beauty every once in a while. Things can get a little stressful, no matter how long you've been gardening. And it is super duper hot. So let's keep going. I showed you this black cherry tomato plant, which is suffering from the heat right now. This was watered last night and it's already limpy again. So, and I need someone to answer a question if I should trellis that up off the ground, but it's very limpy as well. I love the flowers on on eggplants. They're gorgeous. But the whites are so interesting. I'm going to pick one a little bit younger because I just love eggplants when they're smaller, and I want to try the white one. When I do, I will turn on the camera. Over here, you can see the soil, and then you see the no soil because it washed away from the flood here. And I did show you the chamomile. I've been picking it. This is random sunflower. Lemon balm is looking good. The bee balm is getting rarely big. So I specifically grew these 2 for medicinal purposes. Bee balm, if you're feeling like you have the flu or not feeling good, make a tea. And the lemon balm, calmness, anxiety, things of that nature. And some giant zinnias popping up. And there's the other bee balm and the lemon balm, which this side is a tiny bit bigger. And another sunflower. But these California giant zinnias will be popping any day. Yes, I still have some extra peppers. Crazy. I don't think I'm ever doing a bug out seed bag again. This I just left sit on the shelf throughout the summer. And the German chamomile finally germinated, and that's supposed to be holy basil. So I just left that alone. Some flowers. Okay, some of this looks green. I'm still getting sugar snap peas, but look at how bad the rest of this looks. I may pull it out and give some amendments to the soil very shortly. This is something that a bird dropped, if anybody knows what this is. But I'm telling you, it has the softest leaves in the world. I'm trying to get you the flowers. If you know what this is, comment down below. But, oh, it's so soft. This tomato plant is struggling, and I also dropped some Genovese basil in there. This is mammoth basil with some extra seeds. Struggling a little bit. Let's pluck that off. And the shishito peppers are just insane. That's the side view of the tomato bed. Herbs are doing good. I did a video after my pepper haul. I harvested all of my celery. It was getting very woodsy, and I had an extra plant, so I popped it in there along with some seeds. So you can do that still now. I harvested a ton, but I need more. Like, I didn't harvest a ton. I harvested a good bit of just parsley and curly parsley, but I need more. But the bed's still, well, this pot is still doing good. And yeah, so it was so hot after doing the pepper video. I decided to stay in and work on the dehydrator and dehydrating some herbs, so stay tuned for that video. And Lasiato kale, dinosaur kale, blue scotch kale, and edamame is over here. A couple zinnias, and I still didn't find a home for this little batch of chives or mint yet, but I will. But my spider plant came completely back to life, which is awesome. So that is this area, some extra plants. I will show you, which I do show this in the video. I stuck this in a cup, but this is how woodsy and thick the parsley got. So I pulled it out and dropped a fresh one in, and I picked up a couple extra of those heirloom squashes in case a disease happens and I have some seeds going. This was watered last night as well, and you can see how limpy the leaves are. So wish us luck. Lots of prayers here in Pennsylvania, Grow Zone 7B. Storm number 3 is on its way today. Let me show you this so I don't have to post a video. This is the table. Thank you for the comments. Jay Wayton got a big piece of wood. This was painted, and then he used some type of spray for it to give it like a textured look. He kind of didn't like it because it gave it like this white blood, but it's doable for now. I am going to, I can only find another glass table. Things aren't on sale yet, so I might just buy another glass table, because I think that's once in a lifetime to actually see that happen. And we painted the umbrella stand. So that's a big piece of wood in there. I think he used Rust-Oleum and then a textured spray paint. But it's good enough, right, for now. And then this is that citronella plant that I complained about for $10. Doing wonderful, again, as usual. So the table, just a quick little solution for that. Now I have to go order one. So there you have it, everyone. There is, I think this is week 7's garden tour on my roommate's phone. I'll just have to forward it over to YouTube today. But lots of prayers with the next storm coming. And yeah, if you're not familiar or you're new here at my channel, I am Melody, Pennsylvania, Grow Zone 7B. And the heat index here has been just terrible. So when these storms come rolling in, they're even worse. And being by the water, I just don't like them. Freaks me out, scares me. But I hope you enjoyed this week's garden tour. If you're not subscribed here, maybe you could think about subscribing. And shows a lot of support to the channel by leaving comments. I love you all. Thank you for all the wonderful support and the fantastic comments. You are great. And I'm going to end this video because I am super hot. I love you all. Like, share, comment, you know the usual, and I'll see you on the next garden tour. God bless everyone.